The story of Auntie Cleo versus the Moon
This
Man
must
is
be
a
where the
battle
head
for
office is
Auntie.
Whew, it's all right. Stand up tall.
Attention, morally gray out. Hello, daring self-determinativist, stalwart seeker of self-betterment. As in Ida, Idas help explore the wilds, plot our path, and shape the evolution of our beloved corporation. And with enough rugged determinism, you might even live to see the results. And you can see her as soon as I'm finished. Where was I? Oh, yes. Now, I'm finished. You'll find VP Hewitt right over there. When you're done, please exit to your left, where 2 of our top 29 vice presidents are waiting for you.
Win the game. Whenever I see that Moon Man's grinning face,
Well, wonderful to meet you. C.F. Pendergrass III, Strategic Reconfiguration. It's not every day we have such a capable operative accept our invitation to the undisputed claim. While it was those ill-fated peace talks that got you here, I've kept tabs on you.
Yes, we've all kept tabs. Auntie and I have spoken about you several times now. Ursula Ormsby, Proprietary Insight Acquisition. You'll report to both of us. For now.
Indeed. It is our pleasure to meet you, and I am beyond tickled to welcome you to Auntie's Choice. The moment you decided you wanted more from your life, when you realized that Arcadia was an opportunity to forget what was before and join the winning team. My team.
We assume you know a good deal when you see it. At Auntie's Choice, we know how to get things done. If your agenda lines up with our own, expect it completed in no time.
You, my friend, are being given the opportunity of a lifetime. Auntie's Choice has a dynamic new vision, and we need a specific kind of go-getter to make it happen. We need someone not shaped, a daring,
More succinctly, we are recruiting an expert outside consultant.
be our eyes and ears.
Yes, Charles, your vision. Created alongside myself, a team of researchers, slew of marketing experts, a moon-spanning computronic gizmo, and not least of all, Auntie. It most certainly will. And the pay is the least of the benefits this opportunity affords.
Wonder. Your first assignment demonstrates some of the very quality, something unexpected, or in truth, unprecedented, has happened at one of our repackaging facilities on Praetor.
If I understand correctly, they're having, something of a workforce issue. Don't know rightly what you call it. Workers are, well, asking for things. It's strange. They've stopped working. The workers there simply...
They expressed, and I know this is going to sound more than a bit strange, dissatisfaction. And they said they won't...
Specifically, they stated, until we meet their demands. As though employees have a right to demand anything of their...
Marvelous! Knew you could. Though do use caution. We don't know what sort of virus or brainwashing. Dear law! What about...
So what do you suggest we do about such an utterly unheard of situation? It is absolutely imperative that we get those people back to work, whatever it takes. Negotiate. As in...
No, Ursula. That is exactly why we've hired you as my brand new perturbation ameliorator. You'll solve the problem for us, and we will retain absolute deniability. No, you misunderstood.
But you, who are not officially an Auntie's Choice employee, can do whatever you want. Anyone asks about...
Wonderful. You'll go to Praetor, meet the plant's
I have zero doubt Auntie and I'll be
Welcome back.
Yes, time is bits. Tell us how it went.
A satisfactory effort, my ameliorator. I had hopes your talents would yield a result a mite more in our favor.
Well,
Anything else you'd like to report? Your performance at that facility went exceedingly well, all things considered.
there you go again. What do a bunch of eggheads know about marketing? Marketing isn't some rigmarole you can plug into a computronic doodad. It's instinct, intuition, know-how.
It is an intricately crafted, multi-phase marketing initiative that will introduce Auntie's choice to the rest of the galaxy and establish the foothold of our pending. It requires a series of
Whole thing's a load of bunco. Calculatory claptrap from a... Go ahead.
With pleasure! The archive on Cloister analyzed millions of variables with bazillions of permutations to create an idealized path for total competitive dump. Yes, suppose we should move on.
I'm the head of our proprietary insight acquisition division. Stealing our rivals' trade secrets? The Protectorate have a process called mental refreshment. Some kind of... Auntie wants details on their methodology, pharmacology, and technology. This archive plan says it's important? Fine. Auntie and I agree it presents possibilities. Attitude like that will take a few aspirational goals, if possible. If you see a chance to talk their lead scientist into joining us, and/or dig up additional details about the process...
Which is to say, we'll make it more worth your while. I promise you'll...
See you when it's...
Wholly plus artificial. Enjoy an artificially enhanced existence.
You. I don't know who you are. But if you... I have not the slightest theory as to how you bypassed our guards. But if it was through violence... Explain. Now. Whatever your circumstance, there is a cultist-centric issue.
If these cultists are suffering the same
My task is this. A myriad of... Once there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there.
As much as I'd welcome the bloodshed, it may be wise for me to avoid members of the Dawn until I get their treachery sorted.
From what I understand, I'm pleased he does not lie among the ranks of the dead. But I will need a more tangible effort on your part to trust you. I'll withhold my...
Did you not hear me? You must leave unless you wish to be ushered into perfection before the rest. I don't care what your boorish and uneducated opinion is. The bridge is blocked by a rift. You can only enter to off... What kind of... This is a... And they are once again active after laying relatively dormant for years. The end of our tortured existence is nigh. No, you're ridiculous.
Did I hear something about And you? You may be able to fool an acolyte. What? What in the name of the architect?
Stand ready. Our foes.
I always... Now, how might we be of use to one another? I shall allow myself a moment of relief. Moment passed. I'd hoped killing the cultists was its own reward. But you may also take this. You've proven yourself well, but we have recently experienced a pivotally important, unforeseen development. One I must meet directly. Can I count on you? One of the satellites comprising the Hyperion web was struck by a wayward craft. I hope yours... I cannot say how... Collect the data from... Now, how might we... Yes! Don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Yeah, I've informed the presiding bishop you're coming to speak with her. I'm sure I don't need to say this. But if you even think about...
Well, this is a welcome... Dreadful, you know. Positively dreadful. How the peace talks were interrupted. I felt... Officially, not at present. Gertie and I, it is my earnest belief that this is the optimal course to chart for the Order, and for Arcadia. To begin, I believe you would need to put forth efforts in good faith with each of the two groups. Earning the trust of both sides is essential. Once you've worked your way up to meeting our respective leaders, you must convince them to consider joining forces. Oh, really? Perhaps the challenge rating is far less than I've hitherto calculated. Well, obviously you'll likely have to act as an intermediary between Ruth and Auntie, which will require some verbal finesse. But let's worry about that step upon reaching it. Transplendent. Remember, seek out ways to help both sides, engender trust. Gertie and I can let you know when it's time to move forward. In the meantime, I might recommend you work on honing your oratory skills. Our presiding bishop and Auntie Cleo.
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart, a bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now, with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. faith is trust without evidence. You deserve far more than that. Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3%. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, supreme calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future. I admit, when I sent my initial message, I did not exactly know who its recipient would be. But I trusted the plan, and lo and behold, it provided you as the solution. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. Yes, by all reports it was. But the plan evidently has greater outcomes prepared for Vicar Levin. He is, at that. I consider him a close, however, there's something of even greater. It's recently come to my attention that secret communications have been exchanged between Laplace's garden and the undisputed claim. Do you know anything about that? I should have known. Vicar Levin has made this appeal to me at least thrice since his return. He really cannot accept a solution he did not devise. Wise enough to recognize the perils, too. But the right course often involves remaining open to new possibilities. I will put the question to you one final time. Are you certain you would rather pursue this path than work exclusively with the Order? There will be no future option to reconsider. Then I will endeavor to bring that vision to fruition, if the plan wills it. A true in-person meeting between myself and Auntie could never take place due to the security risks. But perhaps a remote conference could be a viable alternative. The odds of you persuading Auntie Cleo to agree are unfavorable. But the math does improve if you have greater standing within her corporation. Oh, I am well aware of your extracurriculars. You've certainly built out a commendable framework for this discussion. Hopefully your forward thinking extends to the negotiations themselves. Once you have met with Auntie, instruct her to send me a communique. We can finesse the details of a conference then. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
Failed to cite her work completely. I worked with...
I see you're back from the Protectorate's little mind manipulation spa. All their secrets in hand, yes?
Our team at Proprietary Insight Acquisition has been salivating over the potential commercial applications of that process. Really? Thought you had more drive, but suppose that's fine.
I, for one, care little for the completion of stretch goals. You managed to avoid being mentally refreshed. That demonstrates considerable pluck and fortitude.
Now, I assume you won't mind we have a few questions about the process. Our people will extract details. Can't say I like... What else can you tell us about the place? What else? But still, they keep on... Oh, good to know, good to know. Excellent. Along with something extra for your effort. Too bad about the lead scientist. All right. For your next assignment, well, it's something of an organizational priority.
Congratulations! Your storied success has earned you a whole entire minute with our illustrious leader, Auntie Cleo!
So your preliminary chores are complete? Oh, finally a contractor with a little backbone. Normally they flee or expire, leaving the work woefully incomplete. Ah, I remember you from before. Fairfield, yes? terrible business. Never did discover who was to blame. Tell me, as an outside agent, do you have any quandaries working with our organization? Ah, I see we have an ideological fellow traveler. Why, this is a nice surprise. Do hope you'll forgive these two. They're competing for a rather significant promotion, you see. It tends to make employees fractious, like young ursopods cooped up in the den. So, you've been advancing a fairly radical idea with a group that, to date, we've considered our rivals. I received a most curious transmission from Ruth Bassar, presiding bishop of the Order, proposing we discuss the prospect of our groups working together. She stated this was your idea. A cessation of hostilities could present any number of potentially profitable options, assuming we could work out favorable terms. Are you sure you'd rather pursue this over your current exclusive contract with us? Before I contact Ruth, I want to be 110% certain. Fine. I'll initiate a call with Ruth through a secure line in the conference room next door. Let's pick this up there. Don't keep me waiting. Look who it is, the instigator of this little affair. Her mathematicalness should be along soon, unless the leader of the Order's too busy crunching numbers to attend to business. There we are. Apologies for the delay. We were resolving some technical issues. Cloister's atmosphere has a tendency to... Oh, yes! Regale us with a thorough account of Cloister's atmosphere. Spare no detail. This must be Auntie Cleo's trademark wit. I expected better. If I was discourteous, I apologize. So long as our mediator proves up to the task, surely we can remain civil. If not, these negotiations may prove short indeed. From where I'm positioned, I sense 3 sore points still in need of massage. Point 1, control of the archive. Point 2, oversight of production and distribution of skip cores. And point 3, management of Rift technology. Before we go any further, I want it in writing that the Order will take full control of the archive without interference from Auntie's choice. What? So the Order can set it fruitlessly idling for another few centuries? We would put it to far more practical use. Imagine the marketing strategies it could develop. I would sever my own hand before giving custody of the archive over to a corporation. Humanity's ascension depends on its calculations. No, such a condition is out of the question. I am amenable to that proposition. Less work on our part. I'm waiting to hear an argument that would support such a ludicrous proposal. And so, because Auntie's choice is suffering a cut by not receiving full control over the archive, you deem it fair for the Order to bleed as well. Very well. I will not absolve you of this choice by commending it. But for the sake of these negotiations, we can move on. Do not expect further concessions, however. Ruth, I commend you for being so receptive. And I assure you that Auntie's choice values science. Nothing bad has ever happened when science and commerce are combined. On the subject of science, it would be most prudent for us to discuss who will be overseeing the management of skip drives, specifically the production of skip cores. No one understands production like we do. Besides which, we have far more experience using skip drives. It was how we came to Arcadia, after all.
Where Auntie's choice manages, the Order would undoubtedly excel. Do not exclude us from consideration merely for lack of experience.
So you ramp up production? And then what? Hand skip drives out for free to whoever wants one? Preposterous, and a waste of a perfectly good monopoly.
We would be diligent about who we licensed out the skip drives to, and a monopoly over space travel is precisely what I wish to avoid. This technology should benefit all humanity. That assumes Auntie's choice would even abide by such a list of restrictions, and which would almost be impossible for the Order to enforce.
Not to worry, we can build a regulatory commission to oversee production and make sure everything is up to Auntie's choice and Order standards. Oh, partiality concerns are a thing of the past. Obviously, regulators would be incentivized to care most about the safety of the consumer. You know, right after production costs.
Auntie's choice is already benefiting from the Order's largesse regarding the archive. I see no reason to compromise a second time here.
You've succumbed to Ruth's little conniption, have you? By the architect's balls, have some gumption!
Pay her no mind. This is a wise correction. The Order will be a far more diligent custodian of this technology.
I disagree completely. Just look at how well the Order protected its own assets. Remember Golden Ridge? The archive? Besides, the Order will inevitably leave money on the table. Fine. I accept this accommodation as I am the very spirit of magnanimity, but be warned, this is the sole free concession you're getting from me.
There is still the question of who takes possession of the Protectorate's rift technology once the war is finished. Although the science is still largely theoretical, this technology could be used to not only close rifts, but create new ones. A dangerous power indeed, left in the wrong hands.
The Order would fritter away valuable time endlessly hand-wringing what to do with the technology. Auntie's choice would actually use it. For good, of course. In a gainful manner. A 50-50 split? But that's so equal. Goodwill rarely converts well into bits, but I suppose I do take your point. If Ruth's open to it, I believe I can agree on the general terms here, and, well, we can haggle over minor quibbling details like percentages later.
I shall look forward to brokering the math with you, Cleo. There is one final matter I wish to discuss. I require some chemicals that I have been told are manufactured at a plant on Praetor, controlled by Auntie's choice.
I know which plant you're referring to, Ruth, and what comes out of it is hardly safe for general use. Out of professional curiosity, what could you possibly need with such dangerous compounds? Running a little experiment, are we? On what? Or whom?
That is, quite frankly, none of your concern.
Precisely. Partners don't withhold secrets, although they can and probably should withhold extremely dangerous chemicals if not properly notified of what they will be used for.
I will make no progress with my request without further explanation, will I? While the Archive is an infinitely complex machine, an equally complex apparatus has been designed which allows one to interact with it directly. Brain-to-logic assembly, as it were. Unfortunately, this headgear exacts a rather tremendous cost on the wearer. A certain panacea is needed to survive it, but I require these chemicals to finish it.
Certainly. I'll even extend our corporate partner's micro discount to Ruth as a show of good faith. Best I'll say is today's outcome is workable. Barely. Our gains were not as exclusive as I had hoped they'd be.
Arriving at any arrangement even remotely equitable was statistically improbable. Be glad our mediator managed to find a middle path forward. As am I. You certainly have a way of curving probability into your favor.
Well, that'll be all for today. Don't forget to purchase the latest in Auntie's Choice products out on the value-added Esplanade, or enjoy a refreshing cocktail at the Best Choice. And do come see me personally when you have time. I have just the thing in mind for an accomplished freelancer such as yourself.
One moment. There are still the logistics of recapturing the Archive to consider.
We'll of course provide our expert troops to support these efforts. Have your people call my people to sort details. Toodaloo!
Brusque as ever. Auntie's troopers will certainly help us manage the Protectorate forces easier, especially if supported by your help. But it would be irrational to expect you to endanger your own life without a more specific strategy in place. Fortunately, I have already given this some thought. First, we must reclaim Spyreton from the enemy. Spyreton once served as the Order's headquarters, due to its proximity to the Archive. Its loss was an affront, and remains so. Unlocking and calling that lift can only be done from within the Archive, however. So you will need to infiltrate the Archive by alternate means, via a bridge connected to Newton. Fortunately, I am told you already dealt with the cultists there. Unfortunately, you will still need to find a way past a small rift currently blocking the bridge. Ordinarily, I do not fancy surprises, but you are proving an exception to that rule. With such a device in hand, bypassing the rift should be as rudimentary as pie. And perhaps at some later date, you will also permit our scientists to analyze this gadget at length in one of our labs, provided all goes according to plan. There is a computronical key that you will also need to locate within the Archive called the Calcaduceus. The Calcaduceus grants special access to the Archive. Once it is back in Order hands, we will have full control over its systems once more. Rift data. And how did you come by this acquisition, if I may ask? It troubles you. What you had to... It must have been a difficult choice. Until the Order... May you...
Well, this is a welcome confluence of events. Why, without you, Gertie and I wouldn't be alive. And any hope of peace between the Order and Auntie's Choice would be over. Dreadful, you know. Positively dreadful. How the peace talks were interrupted. I felt our two delegations were making real progress. Despite the inherent complexity of such disparate factors converging, I do not share your pessimism. Peace talks between the Order and Auntie's Choice have admittedly stalled. However, Gertie and I have kept up communication through back channels, in hopes to reconvene discussions. Caution is the sign of a rational mind, my friend. Would it help to know that I have the utmost faith in our bishop to convince Auntie of the error of her corporate ways? But before you answer, allow me to further delineate the potential requirements of this task. To begin, I believe you would need to put forth efforts in good faith with each of the two groups. Earning the trust of both sides is essential. You're already on your way, in that respect. Once you've worked your way up to meeting our respective leaders, you must convince them to consider joining forces. I predicted a troubling likelihood of you saying that. But a slim chance of you reconsidering later remains. You know where to find me, should that occur.
However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. It's recently come to my attention that secret communications have been exchanged between Laplace's garden and the undisputed claim. Do you know anything about that? I agree. I once believed the risks of a negative outcome were acceptably low, justifying the pursuit of a peaceful resolution. But greater tranquility altered those numbers. I will speak with Levin and tell him to cease all transmissions with the undisputed claim immediately. The Order does not require a corporation's help to win this war. But now, let us move on from this discussion. The archive remains at the forefront of my mind, as it must be on yours, or else you would not be here. Rift data. And how did you come by this acquisition, if I may ask? It troubles you, what you had to do to get this data. It must have been a difficult choice. But difficulty is not a metric useful in judging a decision as right or wrong. Something hard is only hard. Time determines the rest. Walk me through your plan, then. Once the data is processed, what then? And so it may, but perhaps we are putting the solution before the problem. Until the Order has control over the archive again, this discussion is all but moot. Charmingly put. But yes, I do. Anyway, but before we go further, you should be aware, by aligning yourself with us in this matter, Auntie's choice will almost assuredly see you as a threat to their interests. Are you prepared to accept that consequence? It will be a mutually beneficial arrangement, I can assure you. Let us now discuss the particulars of what will be required to reclaim the archive. Fortunately, I have given this some thought, and already have a strategy in place. First, we must reclaim Spyreton from the enemy. Spyreton once served as the Order's headquarters, due to its proximity to the archive. Its loss was an affront, and remains so. More importantly, there is a lift located in Spyreton which can deliver our troops into the archive to assist you against the Protectorate. Unlocking and calling that lift can only be done from within the archive, however. So you will need to infiltrate the archive by alternate means, via a bridge connected to Newton. Fortunately, I am told you already dealt with the cultists there. Unfortunately, you will still need to find a way past a small rift currently blocking the bridge. There is a computronical key that you will also need to locate within the archive called the Calcaduceus. The Calcaduceus grants special access to the archive. Once it is back in Order hands, we will have full control over its systems once more. By your lack of questions, I assume you feel confident about your chances. But it occurs to me that a more indirect approach might also be suitable for retaking Spyreton. Take this access card. It opens a discreet side entrance on the western side of Spyreton, just past a collapsed portion of the outer wall. Once inside, it may be possible to divert power from the Protectorate's turrets via a nearby terminal. The same card should grant you access to the building housing the terminal. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
Favorable confluence of events that brings us brimming with dire purpose to this den of acquisition. Our highly educated, is there anything I can do to facilitate your efforts? Her office is in the aptly named head office tower. We must fight through her troops to reach its elevators. Is there anything else? May our intended actions yield expected results.
Standing by.
I must get regained my
Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Activating energy transmitter. Done weapon ready, Commander. I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Those colleagues over drinks at the bottom rung. Agonized for weeks that your comments might get back to me.
Transmitter down over here. Suffered extensive damage, Commander. Let's clear their ledger.
You have my thanks
Love, laugh, purchase, and consume with Auntie's choice.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
I shall bring you glory.
Name of the free market.
Energy transmitter out. Suck up the shock. Do striking him low for qualification. Mitigating the threat. There be none.
I would not
If I could, but alas, it's not far. Yeah. Energy. Back instead.
Look who it is, Ruth's lackey. But perhaps you have more negotiating skills. Let's pop. Ah, I remember you from Fairfield. Unfondly. Let's be reasonable, shall we? Everyone has a price. What's your lowest offer for yours? Oh, That's quite a clever strategy. Suppose you realize you have me over a barrel. Fine. Wait, you're not bluffing, are you? This isn't some savvy negotiating tactic at all. You intend to kill me.
Wait! Whatever they're offering.
No! No! No!
With Cleo dead, Auntie's choice will surely collapse from the ensuing power struggle. Thus always to materialists. The Order is now well positioned to triumph over the regressive forces of ignorance that have heretofore held Arcadia in stasis. And it is all thanks to you. Your estimable opinion of the Order is not, nor will ever be, misplaced. When the final contest with the Protectorate takes place, wherever that may occur, you will not only have the Order support, I will stand with you personally. Were I still shackled to ego, I might have succumbed to some instinct for self-preservation. But my presence improves the odds of our success, and so there is no other decision to be made.
Need something? Knew you'd come around.
This is exactly the kind of surgical operation.
I can meet you there once you've breached its defenses. Call on me, if and when you need.
Splendid. You have a reasonable amount of my confidence. More than most.
Attention, valued employees. Auntie here to brighten your workday with a report on just how much money your toil is netting us.
Look at you, on time and everything. Is it time to begin our assault? Or you want to let Spyreton languish under the heavy-handed boot of Protectorate control a while longer? Had you pegged as a go-get? Our reinforcements ought to be along, eventually.
Emergency protocols ready.
Malefactor ahead.
Temporary forces detected. Conclusion. Spyreton has been liberated.
We're not paid to stand around. We're ready to fight. Just give the word. Message received. On the way.
Reinforcements detected. Chances of mission success.
your on-the-ground liaison here while you wrap up the rest of your work. Per our agreement, you'll take control of the archive, run your little calculations on the rifts, then hand the, Calcaduceus over to us. How's that all coming along? Splendid. Believe you'll need to service the reactor and punch processing next. I heard some inside info about the upper levels from a scientist we used to have stationed up there. The reactor has systems that may be rewired to provide an advantage over Protectorate troops there. The Order stashed caches of useful items behind secret panels in punch processing and reactor control. I could share the passcode for a price. What? I solicit bribes from my employees all the time. Oh, fine. Guess I do want you to finish up here. All right, use the following phrase in the terminal on the top floor in the archive. Enumerative exaltation. That'll unseal the caches. All right, I'll leave you to it then. Check back later.
Stop and consider. What would your neighbors... Why? You don't want your rivals to win now, do you? Vandalism, sabotage, wanton defacement. Halt this foolishness immediately! Restoring power. Commencing systems audit. Calculatory processing increased substantially. Competing priorities. Successfully expunged. Thank you for choosing the proper list priority set to address your needs. Well, until next time.
You got what you needed, right? I saw through the window. Looked like quite a time for you to hold up your end of the bargain. Let's have it. Hand over the Calcaduceus. Oh, yes, that'll do. Look at that. Nice, sturdy design. We should start selling these things.
Auntie's choice commitment to success and my talent for analyzing statistics and determining trends, our consumers, i.e. the universe, won't know what hit them.
I'm seeing the possibility. When you're all done here, head back on the undisputed claim. We'll discuss your next assignment.
Down for a modest fee to each successive generation. Spacer's choice swollen-headed mascot represents...
Look who it is. Finally back from the field.
Fine work. Keep at it and I'll invite you up to my office for a face-to-face. We've had our people studying the personality you left the archive with. I must say, its dedication to revenue can be a little much at times. It's been correcting me on profits. Guess you're all in with us now. The Order are dead to you. Or, more specifically, they want you dead, that is. Anyhow, onward and upward to the...
With the archive again in our gainful control and our monopolistic mercantile methodology plan well underway, it is time for the next démarche. Clarify brand identity.
A peculiar group of brand loyalists are attempting to rebuild the name recognition of Spacer's Choice, and we must eliminate all unauthorized use of our marks and labels, and ensure no other former rivals feel compelled to betray. Indeed we do. We've allowed these Spacer's Choice malcontents to thrive long enough. They wanted attention. This is the Nothing forced them to turn on us. If you feel they can be salvaged, I'll consider it. But their leadership must die. An example must... These holdouts have taken refuge in a hard rock mine dug into an asteroid called Broken Knees. I leave dealing with them entirely to your discretion. My only concern is that they are dealt with permanently.
Which is precisely why we've
We possess an informant among their rank, one of their guards, who grew tired of their empty...
Our informant will meet you at the landing pad at Broken Knees. He'll provide you all the details when you arrive. All right, you have tasks to perform. Best be off. See that you do...
As your chief executive, I've fostered a healthy cutthroat rivalry between our top divisions.
And
Like a disruptive innovation that arrives without fanfare or pre-release marketing blitz, we seem to have a new competitor in our campaign of commercial combat. You are the poisoned saber of that abominable raptidon in chiffon, come to neutralize the competition and summarily execute the Am I correct to assume that the beheadings will continue? I see. Certainly, in order to get here, you've managed to wage a pitched battle against my subordinates and be victorious. If I were you, I'd take this opportunity, this happy lull in unspeakable violence, to walk away. You can't spend Auntie's bits if you're dead. Wow, that is dark. And I'm not going to lie, quite terrifying. Just, please.
I'm on.
Availability is... severe. Let this be the first courageous leap you make into a fresh, pioneering new career.
Fired my last aide after an hour. Can't find good underlings these days.
2 of us can pitch in until the replacement arrives.
I recorded a new audio missive, a consummate critique of the overprotectorate. Product refinement have fresh orders. What's next?
Our contractor's back from broken...
Oh, there you are. Our fresh-faced new... Your work is simply outstanding. Ingenious. You don't seem much put off by my appearance. Good. I have no stomach for those with no stomach. It is, however, something of a brand secret reserved for only the most trusted confidants. I trust this presents no concerns for you, yes? Fortunately, when you're the head, as far as what happened, I was the victim of an unfortunate industrial accident shortly after we arrived here, the details of which are less salient than the details of what comes next.
Not exactly. Well,
We've uncovered an opportunity to procure me a new, audaciously improved replacement body.
That was actually considered at one time.
But ultimately, it was found
No! To find me the perfect body, you'll be not just any automat. That facility was designed to build... It was the last in a long line. Make it mine.
There's a sub-facility beneath the automech factory.
Well then, fetch me my... I'll be able to leave. You're back! Finally! Finally! Do you have it? Did you bring it here? A last-minute shakedown, is it? I knew I liked you. Yes, of course. Fine, fine! Oh, let me see it. Yes, indeed. Oh, let me look at you. If you'll all just excuse me a moment as I slip into something more formidable.
There you are. Congratulations. Now your body's almost as intimidating as your mind. You've narrowed the gap quite a bit.
Oh, Auntie, you look amazing. Absolutely everyone will want a new mech body after watching you strut the walk.
What about you? What do you think? Any first impressions you'd like to share? Wonderful! What's more, it's an undeniable confirmation that the archive-derived strategic plan can be...
Astutely observed, Auntie. irrefutable.
Stupendous! Pursuing data-driven results has been my mantra since my first day at Auntie.
Next point of business. It's high time. There's no profit in or angle to gain from putting it off further. We need to deal with the Order. Why, the market penetration strategy devised by their computronic doodad, its final point states as follows. Combine resources and know-how with the Order of the Ascendant to maximize collective reach and effectiveness. Not so much hop. All those scientists will swiftly fall in.
That characterization of Order scienticians is... all right, that is largely correct. Fine. And look, I'm not an ardent fan of Ruth Bazaar, but this is... she is. If that occurs, I may have to part ways with you. So be sure you're committed to this.
Knew you'd be on board.
Bazaar's at Laplace's garden, the Order headquarters.
And remember to stand proud, Ameliorator. You not only represent Auntie's choice, but are...
Mitigating the threat. Reducing enemy effectiveness. Standing by to simplify. Torpification in progress. Torpificator is charged. That instead.
Once I can ride.
Suture me up. It would improve your odds.
Taking cover. Your immediate demise is 49.7% certainty.
Can't hurt more.
future heedlessly assembled and vastly rebetted through artificial means. At Auntie's Choice, we strive to be 110% wholly artificially enhanced existence through the conspicuous consumption of unavoidable embedded chemicals.
There you are. My field manager informed me about Bazaar. Oh, tasty bit of service. Very efficient. Take it she didn't give you too much trouble. No need to cast about in a desultory fashion. Take pride in a job well done. Show some corporate spirit.
Well, now we can get to work consolidating order talent into Auntie's Choice. Once integrated, they will maximize.
And my department would begin systematically raiding each and every one of their laboratories for proprietary technology.
Yes, so much to do. And we have you to thank for making it happen. Here's the least I can offer to retain you. Soon, when there's no competition at all, you'll earn far less. Will you two leave us? I have matters I'd like to...
Yes? I mean, certainly,
Certainly, Auntie. But when should we expect to hear about the promotion?
The promotion? Ah, yes. The two of you are the best our humble little meritocracy has. Someone adaptable, dynamic, unexpected. Not only one of you has shown your... You two can go. Turn in your credentials at reception. The contents of your desk are waiting for you there, accruing charges for storage. Thought they'd never leave. Let's get down once this pesky rift business is concluded anyhow. I'd expected but I'm thinking ahead. Who knows? A canny operator like you may even change my mind.